So we're here at Jackass Meadows and we're doing a multi-pitch climb today. This climb behind me is called the Book of Revelation, and Ron and Gary went up, and now Ron's friend Andrew is going up, and they are going to drop a line on the other side, and apparently we're going to practice aid climbing, which is a whole nother side to climbing. So but in the meantime, just kind of hanging out, rock climbing, there's a lot of waiting. If you don't have patience, rock climbing is probably not the right sport for you. But there's a lot to do when you're waiting. It's beautiful scenery up here. I think I've shown it to you already, but check that out. That's Shut-Eye Peak over there. And I'm not sure, I know that mountain way over there to the left is Mammoth Ski Resort. But I'm not sure what those mountains are over there with all that snow. Looks like there's a fire on that side. In this episode, we'll be climbing Book of Revelation in the Falls area of southern Yosemite. The majority of this episode is going to be an attempt to do an overview of building anchors. If you've never been climbing before, I highly suggest you go to a gym to learn this. However, if you just want to see what it's all about, this is a great place to start. We'll be going over placing some fixed and natural anchors, and then you'll get to see what it takes to rappel. I didn't get a climb with Gary and Ron on Book of Revelation, but perhaps I could show you a little bit about top roping here. So, as you can see, the first thing I did is I clipped in my personal anchor. Now on this particular one, because I'm doing the indoor gym, we got our fixed anchors with carabiners already in place. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my rope. I'm going to put it in one and then put it in the other. Now keep in mind my belayer's holding me on down there. You still got me? Cool. All right, so they got me on belay, and now I can actually not have to rely on my personal anchor. This is what you would see at the top of a fixed, we should be locked, at the top of an anchor, right? This is what you would normally see. But now you guys saw Gary and Ron, they were actually using that tree to anchor off of. And so you're probably wondering, well, gosh, you know, how'd they do that? Really easy. And I'll show you that in a minute. But first, let me get off my personal anchor. And let me jump down. Rappelling! Okay, no, all kidding aside. So anyways, we got, if you see a tree up on the top of your pitch, they make, depending on the size of the tree, because I've seen a couple come out, you can use a tree as one of your anchors. Now, if you do use a tree, it's always good to use a second anchor over off on the side, just in case, because, you know, redundancy is key. But let me show you how to sling a tree. So you're going to use some webbing, and you're going to do the water knot. Now the water knot, again, I always say this, I don't really want to teach you every single little thing. I suggest you go to a rock climbing gym to learn everything. That way the liability is not on me. This is just an overview on what you would normally see on the top of an anchor. Because if you saw in that video, that rope was a mess, right? It was all over the place. So, and anchors are really important for rope management, to make sure everything is all nice and pretty and not all just a big mess. Because if it's a big mess, that's when things can go wrong. So to start your wet knot, water knot, wet knot, I always get them because I used to call it differently when I was a kid. But anyways, you're gonna take your sling, you're gonna do an overhand knot, you're gonna wrap it around the tree. Now, let's pretend, I'm gonna remove this up a tad. And let's go up a tad. Okay, so let's pretend that this is a tree, okay? I have to get up there. So pretend this is not here, and all we have is a tree. So you're gonna take your sling, and you're gonna wrap it around your tree, right? You're going to bring it back over to your overhand knot, and you're going to do a follow through. So what that means is you're just basically going to follow the overhand knot that I just made. So I'm going to go ahead and follow it all the way around. And if you don't like, you know, you're like, whoa, that's too low. Great thing about this is you can bring it up a tad. It's getting pretty low there. Let's bring it right there. That's nice and pretty. Make sure I'm doing this right. And we're gonna follow this around. And then we're gonna have to bring it back through. Okay. So nice, looped, nothing's flopped over. What I mean is like one's not going one way and then it's turned over on the other way. It's all nice and flat. Okay? Now you don't want to put your carabiners right on the knot. You want to put them on your sling. So we got our sling wrapped around a tree. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take the carabiners and you're going to put them on your sling. You always want to make sure that the spine of your carabiner is against the rock. You don't want the gate up against the rock. Oops. Ah, there goes my carabiner. Another good thing is you see how I'm screwing down. You don't want to screw up, right? You want to screw down. That way you know that your lock is actually locking down. Whereas if it's straight up, you know, the chances of it coming undone are a little bit easier. So spine against the rock, gate away. And you know, it's good. I had two here, so it's kind of nice to have two. Redundancy, right? So I have two there. And you're going to bring your rope up. Actually, I think I locked this, didn't I? Nope, it's still open. You're going to bring your rope through. Got me on belay. Make sure these are locked now. Screw down. And now you have that anchor system around the tree. Now, again, I keep saying redundancy is key. So if you just have this on a tree, it's really good to try to find another area to put another piece of protection in, like your cams or your nuts, or you know, any other type of method you can come up with. But this is what they were using on Book of Revelation. Okay, now that this is all nice and locked in, belayers got you, or what's even more fun, that you saw them, or you're about to see them rappel, right? So I'm going to put my personal anchor on. If it's just on this, actually, I'm sorry, we were just doing the tree. So you want to go behind your system. You don't want to go in front, because this way you're not interfering with the rope and everything. Okay, so you're on your personal anchor. Now you don't have to rely on your belayer. You can literally take this off. And what I like to do is I like to, just because you don't want to lose your rope while you're up here, I like to put a little figure 8 on there. Put this in so that I don't lose the rope. See, now if I let go of the rope, it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so I'm in, the rope's in. Now I can take the rope that the belayer had, I can take that out. Okay, so now it's safe. I don't know if you could see my figure 8, but now it's safe to come off of my figure 8. Again, I'm in, my rope's in, and that's only when I can come off of my figure 8, okay? Because if you're not in here and you slip, bye-bye, right? All right, so now I want to rappel. Now, you don't have to do this. If you want your belayer to just lower you down, you could have just climbed up and then lowered down, okay? It was simple as that. But if you want to rappel down, like you're going to see them rappel down in a minute, you are going to need to throw a lot of this rope out. So you're going to want to pull up your rope. Pull, 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 and then you're basically going to put it back in, right? When you get to this point, pull, pull, pull. So just pretend like I pulled up like 25, well, probably 50 feet. Well, no, we got 200-foot rope, so 100 feet, okay? So there's 100 feet pulled up, I threw it out, and now I want to rappel down. So you're going to get your belay device. And you're going to put yourself on rappel. Learn how to do this. There's so much to this. I'm just giving you an overview. Please do not use this as instruction, complete instruction to do this. Practice, practice, practice too. Okay, so now I'm on rappel. And actually I want to get on this side. So that you can see me. Okay, so now I can hold down here for rappelling, right? So now I know I'm safe here. I know my rope is safe here. So both of us can actually come out up here. So, because there's so much rope down there, I know that there's enough weight to hold it in, so I can drop this line, okay? I'm still in, still got on. Now I can take my personal anchor off because I'm ready to go. And now I can rip the tail down.